Hey, I've got a new project and I can't wait to tell you all about it. It's called 33 Dates with Delight. And how do I introduce this? You've heard of light workers, right? Well, I've decided I'm going to become a delight worker. And I hope you're going to join me on this mission of spreading more delight and enjoying more delight in this crazy world because we need it right now. I want to find out all about you and what it is that delights you. And first of all, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. So, where do I start? The last couple of years have been particularly challenging, I think, for all of us. And for me, especially because I decided to end a 20-year relationship, 15 years of which were married. And when I came out of that, I realized that I totally lost all sense of myself as a separate person and what made me truly happy. You can probably identify with this, some of you. So that was the beginning of my quest to discover some home truths and find out, in the words of the runaway bride, how I like my eggs. And the quality that I was seeking made itself known to me on a walk, actually. It was scrawled on a wall in bright coloured chalk letters, and it was the word delight. Unfortunately, the first particular flavour of delight that I was focusing on at the time turned out to be married with a family, strictly off limits for me anyway. And I moved on to another flavour, also unavailable. So, recognizing a little pattern, I did what we all do, and I turned to my wisest friends in despair and I said, okay, how can I enjoy this single life and be fulfilled? And they kind of listened to me in that, oh dear, what a lovely problem to have kind of way. And I could almost hear their next thought, namely, where's my husband and do I need to lock him up right now? And then they offered some very sound advice. And they all said the same kind of thing. So instead of looking for someone else to delight you, why don't you find ways to delight yourself? Had I really never thought of that? Clearly not. So, learning that I'd recently had a reading from a very accurate medium and astrologer, two readings actually, which had revealed that my true beloved would be ready for a relationship with me in September 2024, long time, one of my new friends proposed a project. As a former High Court judge and very successful entrepreneur, Emma is super, super focused and she loves the project. She'd actually just finished 3 consecutive house moves within the previous month, I think. So she had some time on her hands. And Emma immediately calculated, maths is not my strong point. She immediately calculated that if I started this project in January 2022, I would have 33 months to delight myself and not just sit around and wait as I'd previously thought I would. So she booked me in for a Santiago hike the following October, 10 months in the future. That's how far her calendar is planned in advance. I can just about work out the next week, so I'm already impressed. So I had one delight to look forward to in the year already, and another 32 or so to plan. And I went home ridiculously excited. And that kind of germ of an idea took root in the soil of that excitement. And this project is the result of that. So I spent Christmas digging deep into delight and making lots of lists and thinking about what it meant to me to be delighted and how I could weave it effortlessly into my daily life. How could I delight others? What was it that my inner child missed out on? And what experiences did my adult self long for? Also, how could I take the best care of myself so I could serve from a full cup? And I've started posting on social media accounts, and it's not just all the good stuff, the good, the bad, and the ugly days are there. This is, after all, a quest for me, so it's bound to be a little bit of a hero's journey, and there will be dark nights of the soul along the way. So I've decided to be completely honest about that and open and share. And the delight is already starting to spread in ways that I hadn't really anticipated. And when I talk to other people about it, what I love is when they get that kind of special light that comes into their eyes, and they start thinking about all the fun they can have if they just give themselves permission. So that's what I'm doing. I'm giving you permission to be delighted with your life. And after, let's face it, almost 2 years now of uncertainty and lockdowns, and thanks to the pandemic, we're all totally fed up with constraints and not being able to do what we want. And many of my followers are actually also coming out of long-term relationships, and they're kind of blinking in the daylight, and quite possibly the effect of being locked up together for so long, but not quite sure who they are now at the end of this. So some of you might be happy to join me for the full 33 months or almost 3 years of delighting yourself. Some of you might only want to commit to 33 days or 3 days. It's entirely up to you, whatever works. Some of my clients have been using the gift meditation, which I share on my website if you sign up for that. And it means that energy is starting to rise, and these clients are starting to get amazing shifts in their energy and manifestations, and finances and love lives are starting to improve, health is recovering, people are starting to feel a lot more joy and delight and excitement. And dates with delight seems to be becoming a bit of a movement, which is a blessing. It feels like an antidote to all that fear and lack of control we've all been experiencing. So just a couple of words about the project itself. It's called 33 Dates with Delight. Love it if you could join me. It doesn't necessarily involve romantic dates, unless of course that's what shows up for you, which is great. It's more of a date with yourself, or your friends if you want to bring them into, or your family. It's like an artist date. If you've ever read The Artist's Way, and I highly recommend that, by the way, it's a date with yourself, an artist date or a date with delight. So it's an opportunity to please yourself completely. The principle is pure pleasure. And if you take the time to tune into that quiet little voice, not that one, the other one, in your heart, you might be surprised what it comes up with. It's quite inventive. So it feels brilliant that delight's becoming more infectious than all the other viruses that seem to be floating around. And if you know that you're a delight worker and you want to join me on this journey, click on the link below and sign up for my free PDF. You'll get that straight away. And then we can keep in touch, and you can share all your delights with me and follow me on Facebook and wherever else I am. So yeah, come and be delighted and delightful, and share that journey with me. Thanks for watching. Here's to a life that deeply delights us.